Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Anditesh Ordo, and today I'm going to be talking about a possibility of future Clone Wars era coming to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The reason why I'm saying this is they've been discussing on adding a possibility, some Clone Wars era updates to Battlefront 2 in the next coming months or so. I only just heard about it just barely, so I don't know the full gist of it, but I know that I guess it's one of the developers or lead team staff or someone in there is actually was tweeting out, answers to some people's questions. Of course, they said for that game, Grievous and Obi-Wan aren't coming into the game, but does that mean, as Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players, will we get to see, Grievous rework coming up and whatnot? Well, we have like a couple of months, like 4 months, maybe a pause for like May's, movie, Han Solo movie, but a couple of months where we actually get some new Star Wars characters based on the Clone Wars era. I'm just going to discuss this a little bit, kind of just my thoughts about it, what characters we could see possibly and whatnot. So first off, we would probably see a couple of faction reworks, especially for separatists. Separatists are needing a lot of rework and love. Like, we do still see Jedi teams in the arena here and there, like Jedi based on like Qui-Gon, like Barriss and Kenobi, and those kind of characters. Of course, we do have like Hermit Yoda and Ezra, but those are for a future era. But as the Clone Wars era, we do still see some Jedi support here and there. There are some Umgandai leads. A lot of these teams are mostly used for like territory battles and other areas of the game. But I have seen, not on my shard, but I have seen some videos, some videos of people doing some gameplay with like a Qui-Gon Jinn lead, General Kenobi, Hermit Yoda, Ezra, and like one other character, either Anakin, a Leia Secura, or something like that. But anyways, so there's some support for Jedi. Of course, there are some Jedi that still need some reworks, like Mace Windu being number one. Mace Windu is definitely a number one option for needing a rework. So will we see that in the next coming 5 months? I'm going to say 5-6 months. Will we see or will we not see? So we also have a Geonosian faction. We have tons of droids. Maybe they may take a month where they do droids only, which means we might also see a rework for HK-47. I feel like he really needs a rework because he still needs a Zeta for his resurrection ability or reconstruction ability. But for droids itself, maybe some love towards K2SO, but we still need like IG-88, 86, the Magna Guard. 86 might be fine where he doesn't need a rework. Maybe some stat bonuses, it changes a little bit, but B2 Super Battle Droid, definitely Grievous, but of course adding a few droids in. Could be we might see General Kalani to support separatist and droid leadership. See what other droids. Droideka is a very viable option. Who knows? We might even get the Rocket B2 Super Battle Droid. I'm game with that too. Let's see. There's the B1s. Like they could have a B1 pilot, a B1 9, or OOM droids. Those kind of droids. There's a lot of different options. They also have the commando droids, the commando droids where they're like kind of like the B1, but they're the more assassin. We might see that support. So we'll see what comes out of the future of these characters. So we'll see what happens. But we also got like I said, Geonosians. Geonosians don't have much love. They need at least 2 to 4 more. I'd say 2 to 4, but because they could always have like a Geonosian technician, a Geonosian shaman. I don't know, whatever they decide to make. I don't know about Geonosian culture that much, so we may not see those type of characters, but we'll see what happens when they do get Geonosians. I know in the last like 4 to 5 months, we got a rework on the Geonosians art, and that's all we got. There was nothing more, so it's saying that Geonosians are definitely coming soon. They may just have a month where it's just Geonosians themselves, and then just separatists in general. Like Count Dooku's leadership needs a rework. Ventress's leadership could be, reworked to work with not just Night Sisters, but also separatists. Newt Gunray still needs a huge rework. Of course, going back to Poggle, he needs a rework to, work with leadership of droids, Geonosians, and separatists. Or unless he sticks with droids and Geonosians only, that could be a thing as well. So, and there are some separatist leaders that could always be added in, like Admiral Trench. Man, I went blank on his name. The Wat Tambor. There's quite a few. I wouldn't say they'd add a lot of those. There's not a lot of organic. It's mostly droids that separatists would have, but there are still a few. Like there's Newt Gunray, there's Rune Hako. That's a possibility. That's always Newt Gunray's buddy. So yeah, no, that's separatist. Now for Galactic Republic, like I did say, like I said, Jedi still need some rework. Ahsoka Tano could still use some love. The Consular maybe. The Windu. Gundai's leadership could be buffed up to 50 because 50% counter chance, because we already have that kind of setup with Commander Luke Skywalker for Rebels and Gar Saxon for Imperial. So having Gundai's counter ability go up to 50, we might actually see some counter teams. Plo Koon, really good against stealth teams. He could be a counter to a lot of the R2-D2 teams. So, giving some sort of like boost towards his leadership. Because like right now, that's not his leadership. It's 55% chance to remove. So that could go up maybe 10% or 15%. And if they dispel, they gain offense up. They might actually add some more buffs when they dispel or something. And maybe also give some other leadership to, because he's set up as a Jedi tank, so maybe Jedi get some defense and health or something, maybe max protection. So we'll see what happens when that time comes. But I hope that when they do rework Plo Koon, he sticks around being kind of that stealth counter effect, but maybe the chances are improved a bit, so they're kind of countering it. Or maybe the chance stays the same, but the Zeta says, if a Jedi dispels, they get like foresight or not foresight. The enemy gets kind of something like target lock, but something different for Jedi. And as long as Plo Koon is out on the field, they can't go back into stealth kind of thing. We do know Galactic Republic only has like, outside of Jedi, outside of R2 and clones, they have Chewbacca and Coruscant Underworld Police. So I don't know if we'll get any sort of Galactic Republic mini faction to support like Coruscant security forces or something like that. Of course, if they did that, that would make Coruscant Underworld Police maybe viable. He still needs rework, but I think really the biggest thing that really needs a rework on the Galactic Republic side is clones. Clones, I think, they need at least another 5 to 7 clones added into the game, I feel like. I know that's a lot, but, I would like to always have a chance to have 2 clone teams. Especially if you're doing territory wars, territory battles, anything like that, you want another clone team, this is the way to do it. And if they do this early enough, then maybe by the end of the year or the beginning of next year, they might add in like Battle of Geonosis for territory battles. So then you'd have the dark side, light side of the the territory battles, and then you'd get a character for each side. But for the most part, adding a couple characters for each side, but adding clone troopers as an update would be great. Like four great slots that can be filled. Well, I say five is the, famous clone commandos. Delta Squad, along with Gregor, can be added in. And it could be a clone trooper mini faction as a Republic commando. Like, they're all clones, they get clone bonuses, but they're also Republic commando. They have their own little synergy with each other. Hey, that'd be a great month. I would be game if they just did that. Five Republic commandos, and then maybe later on down the road they add, like, 5 to 7 other clones, or 3 to 5 other clones. But yeah, Republic commandos would be great. Another faction I can think of them adding, I don't know if it would be on any of their lists at all, would be the D Squad, the droid team that was in the Clone Wars TV series. Some people may be biased against that idea, but I have done a couple of videos. Some of my first 20 videos of Galaxy of Heroes was based on the D Squad. And I said, there would be 4 droids, like Colonel Meeber Gascon would be, with the leader droid, as well as you get Whack, and then I think it was R2 or QT R2 or whatever it was, the pink droid, and then the other droid with the big cannon on it. And then the 5th inclusion, because we already have R2 in the game, the 5th inclusion would be Gregor, and we would actually get Gregor added to the game. So they might actually, maybe go those routes, but we'll see. I think mostly if they add clones, they might add some random, like they may actually add Kix. I hope they add Kix as a a healer clone, because I feel like clones could use a healer, a healing cleanser. Like we got Rex for cleansing, but like a healer for just heal up. Even though some of the clones do heal kind of under Cody's leadership. But yeah, that's clones. And then if they add any other characters outside of, because if they do Clone Era, they could still add some of the factions from, or some other characters from the Clone Wars TV series. So one of my biggest interesting ones would be the Hondo Onaka, or the Onaka gang. I did a video on that, so you can definitely check that one out as well. That was like probably 40 videos, 40 videos in of Galaxy of Heroes. But Onaka gang is, I feel like, a really good option to add in. You get, 5 brand new scoundrels. They'd all be dark side. I could still see one of them being a droid. And I do mention this in the video, but I also talk about that they can add some scoundrel ships into the game. And then add Hondo Onaka as a fleet commander with his big, like, saucer, ship. And he could use that towards, as his, the command ship. And then all he has to do is, synergize, like the only, unfortunately, this is the downside of Scoundrels at this moment. It's so sad. The best ship and the only ship is Slave One. Like, if we do eventually get, like, Jango Fett also added into the game, we'd probably also get his ship, so we'd have 2 Slave Ones. It'd be kind of funny, even though they're the same ship, but upgraded differently. But having a Scoundrel ship added to the, a Scoundrel faction for the fleet might actually add, you'd have some synergy there. You'd add probably a couple of the Onaka gang starfighters, like 1 or 2, maybe 3, and then you'd have Onaka's capital ship, Hondo's capital ship, and then you'd have Slave One. So you have three of Onaka's little saucer starfighters, and then the Slave One. Then if they add Jango Fett, another Slave One. And then there's other ships that could be added in down the road that would support, that are supported under Scoundrels, like Dengar's ship, IG-88 ship, the Episode 4 Millennium Falcon with Raid Han. So they got a ways to go on that. I understand that, but this is kind of a good direction they could lead into, but we'll see what they really ultimately come out of. I do hope, though, one of the biggest things I hope, though, still, when they actually work on Clone Troopers, is getting the Commandos in. I feel like the Commandos would be ideal. Granted, yes, it's a light side faction. A lot of people may not like that idea, but at the same time, having clone clone commandos would be... There they are. Clone commandos would be a really interesting faction to see in the game, especially if they actually brought all 4 of Delta Squad and then Gregor in, just to throw Gregor in. You got a commando team, and if they make them good enough, they could be, 100%, excuse me, 100% all 5 viable for arena, and you'd be set. Or, all 4 plus Rex is a lead, because that's the thing. Or Cody is a lead, that's the thing, So there's a lot of different avenues to go with this. Of course, the clone commandos would also synergize with General Kenobi the most. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you kind of see this happening? Because I feel like this year for sure, by the end of the year, we will have a Separatist and even a Galactic Republic rework coming our way. Because I feel like with territory battles out, I feel like we're still going to get a Battle of Geonosis option for the battlefield. So that's where I'm kind of hoping that's actually where it happens. But I'm not just hoping. I kind of feel like I'm like 80% sure that's actually going to happen this year. At least with the reworks of Separatist characters and Galactic Republic characters. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And yeah, I do appreciate you guys watching, listening to my ideas. It's always nice to have people listening to my ideas, and you guys have a wonderful day.